Since colonization, we've been going through these same exact conditions that Curtis Mayfield talked about on that song, Little
Yep.
Child Running Wild, man, and every single word, every lyric pertains to everything that we got going on right now to this very day, man, and it's crazy. You know what I mean? But first, I want to welcome the family back into the house. You know what I mean? It's Born Built Universal, transmitter supreme science on Earth and the universe. It's iGod TV, and we got the God in the building once again. Tahuti Ray, man. We already know what it is. Peace to the gods. How's everything going over there, man?
Man, this work, man, this work is like, a lot of people need healing right now, bro. A lot of people need healing. It's
That's
so
right.
crazy because I deal with a lot of families, I deal with everyday people, and if you're doing everyday people, you got to always include the family factor of the things that people are going through, and as people are trying to attempting to make their spiritual evolution and changes, and it's
That's
just
right.
amazing, man. Because um, we find so many times that it be our blood relatives that do us dirty,
Right.
make you really how can you do me that, but
Exactly.
a lot
Exactly.
of it, a lot of it, I find with the work that I do, is that a lot of it is connected to past life stuff before you even deal with the present karmic stuff of just like sibling rivalry, shit like that.
Right.
Parent, you know, father parent, I mean father child, mother child relationship, you know,
Exactly.
mother father dynamic. It's so many things, it's like playing a basketball.
Right. Like the ancestors used to say, it's like an onion. You know what I mean? It's just peeling more
Yeah, so
layers
many
away
bills.
into it.
Yeah. So, I just um when it comes to this very thing, because we all little
Yeah.
children running wild in this here biosphere, you
Yes,
know,
we are.
in this third density. And so
In this womb.
what I find is that, with all of the years of learning and knowing and testing my limits, the one thing that I think I hold very close to me is the maintenance of my mental health.
Yeah,
And
that's
sometimes
very important.
we let it slip. We let it slip to a point where it conditions us in such a way where, like they say, like you don't realize your condition's been conditioned. So
Exactly.
if you don't come out of that way of thinking or reacting, most times, like, mindfulness,
Right.
you know
Yep.
employing the use of stoicism,
Mm-hmm.
you know
Yeah. And you know what? A lot of people don't realize the fact that, you know, your environment, it trumps all that, man. It can overpower all that, the real you, the real person you really want to be, the life you really want to live, the environment that you placed in, man, can overpower that, man, and steer you down a whole nother road that you never even belonged on. You know what I mean?
absolutely.
Seriously, man. Seriously. But yeah, man, speaking of that, man, I wanted to get you on here today, man, because I had a few things I wanted to chop it up with you about, man, and get your insight on it, man. We had to come to the guru, man, to get the real science, man, and get the real breakdown on a few things, man. So, what I really want to talk about is cosmic energies, or so they call spirits or angels, demons, whatever people want to call them under many names, But my point is, and what I want to get your thoughts on is these energies, so to speak, saying coming from the sun, the cosmic rays, these charged particles coming from star systems and planetary systems and all these things that affect us on the planet. It's like these things, you know, uh, they need bodies to operate. You know what I mean? You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Like these
They
things
all
are created and they're neutral and they need bodies. Like all these movies that we watch about the spirits and the demons needing bodies to come into and things like that.
Right.
these these cosmic energies and these waves and these, part charged particles and things that come to this planet, you know what I mean? They need bodies to enter to be able to function, so to speak. Am, am I on the right path?
Absolutely. I mean, no different than us. I mean, we so a conversation that I was having 2 days ago. I was explaining this to some of my rape students
Yeah.
at, um, what our ancestors understood was that your consciousness transcends through all of these states of density, right? And
Okay.
so, whether we believe it or not, we are the descriptions of all those different things that you were just talking about. We are no different than how within our DNA we have the same DNA, only a few different strands different than any other animal, mammal, reptile, bird, or any other thing that exists, insects on this planet, right?
Right.
There's a natural relationship with all of it, right?
There is.
And
You're right.
this is why the ancestors understood what all people still
Right.
don't grasp on consciousness. You know,
Yeah.
this is the wildest. This is the wildest. How could you put it? This is like the wildest Cartoon Network that you could ever experience. Like,
Right. Right. Right.
because it can become corporeal, physical, dense, you know,
Right.
physical. I'm sorry, it can become physical or it can become corporeal, non-dense, you know,
Mm-hmm.
uh, uh, all the way down to two-dimensional.
Right.
You
Right.
know, you have a two-dimensional aspect of it. There's a definite, we have all these things to us, but yet what it is we're not cognitively aware of is all of the levels of the states of consciousness that exist with it.
Yes.
You know,
Right.
it's like being a musician that has an instrument and you don't really know your scale,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And so
You only stay at
you
certain
don't
notes.
really know how to operate your instrument. Like you have the instrument, this instrument you can create supersonic tones depending on what it is that you're doing. But
Right. But
and
not
we're
knowing the scale, you stay down in the lower tones.
exactly. And then not only that, and this is why, when the higher beings come down here and they tell us, y'all playing with powers, you don't know what you're doing. You just know enough, like how the elders used to tell us, you just know enough to be dangerous. Nigga, move. Sit
Right.
down.
Right.
And it's serious because when it comes to our minds and our emotions, like we literally are running around here. Look, you don't need an exterior lightsaber. Your mind is a lightsaber, okay?
Yes.
Your energy body in and of itself is a pillar of light. So however you choose to direct that energy that's inside of you flowing through you, that's how you're moving in the universe. That's how the cosmos is responding to you. And it
Exactly.
responds off of threefold. It responds off of how you respond to your environment,
Mm-hmm.
your outer environment, your inner environment, right? Because
Right.
if we know for a fact that all of these things that are happening is a memory,
Mm-hmm.
it's a
Mm-hmm.
projection,
Mm-hmm.
right? You are the movie, really. Like
Right.
you
Like
wrote
Jay-Z
this.
said, uh, you are the movie. Let the season begin.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I mean? And that's just
exactly.
a fact, man. And I want to say, like, so what do you feel like as far as let's just, because they make it a spooky word, but we're gonna say it anyway. Can you kind of give us the different levels and forms of possession, so to speak? because if we're talking about cosmic rays and charged particles and things like that,
Right.
and constellations, star systems, and things like that, you know, are these also a form of possession? These
Well,
energies coming to the planet.
um, see, I see it more like we're all in a big fish tank that has no edge, right?
Yeah, right,
It's like just this blob that's formless weight. This, it has everything in it, but nothing at the same time.
right,
Because and the
right.
reason why is because like just like like when you look in your blood, like it when you look at your blood inside of a scope, versus inside of looking at it through a mic. I'm sorry, looking at it on a petri dish
Mm-hmm.
versus looking at it through, like some form of technology where you can look into the body, scan the body,
Yeah,
X-ray, whatever. You know, what you're going to see is two different things. See, you got the actual. It's kind of like the same thing. Is it live or is it Memorex? Because when you use the technology to see it, right?
yeah.
You use the technology to see it. You're still not actually seeing.
Seeing, right, yeah, right, right, right.
But when you use the microscope, where it's your eyes is a lens, you're looking through lenses.
Yeah.
You see, and it's still physically there, even though it's beyond the scope of your sight.
It can be truly observed then.
But yeah, because you actually see the blood live in motion, you know, where
Mm-hmm.
it's organic.
Right,
You see,
right.
same thing with music, right? You can absorb music by being at a concert,
Uh-huh.
right? Or you can listen to it on the radio. Now, which one is healthier for you?
Mm. Probably in concert, probably.
Absolutely, in concert,
You get the real
especially if you're listening
vibration.
to, especially if you're listening to organic music. And the thing
Mm-hmm.
that they've done, it touches on the same thing because see, all of these different all these different entities live in different states, right?
Mm-hmm.
That they are able to maneuver in. And some of them can transverse, you know,
Right,
right?
right.
Because we did that in order to get here.
Exactly.
I mean,
Exactly.
like, see, we don't even recognize that we're never ever still. Even in this reality, your consciousness, even though you're sitting in this physical third density world,
Right.
you got multiple states of consciousness happening at once. We talked about this so many times.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they teach you that you're a solid, a liquid, a gas, and you're ether.
Right.
But then you're also just energy. Okay, but what about your plasma? Okay, how
Yes.
about that? They don't factor in. Everybody puts out or is connected to a bit of antimatter. It's
Yep.
the law of the cosmos. You cannot exist if you're not part of the all.
Mm-hmm.
See, these are the things that are disconnecting us from our true spiritual abilities and connectedness. The reason why a lot of these higher entities scare us is because of the religion that we've been given. The,
Exactly.
the inability to actually formulate intelligent um, concepts
Right.
of what it is that we're interacting with.
Yeah.
You know,
Just throwing spookism in there
yeah. And
just to scare
so,
you away.
because, like, okay, I'll give you a good example. The majority of people that's in the church don't realize that a great deal of the people that's leading them in the church who speak against, like, not
Mm-hmm.
using voodoo and Santeria and stuff like that, they're doing it.
Right.
They're doing it to keep their people coming to their church.
Right. Right. Yeah.
in
Subcon
one
yeah, yeah,
form,
yeah.
in one form or
Subliminally.
another, in one form or another, one form or another,
That's
right?
right. No, you're right about that.
And
That's right.
that same paranoia and psychosis that's being fed from those people. Because you got to understand, this is all energy, right? So let's
Mm-hmm.
look at the mind as channels, right?
Right.
Who you are is what you connected to. And so if you connected to these different forms of perverted thought concepts, and this is all connected to that mental health too.
Mm-hmm.
If you're of these thought concepts are perverted and you got this paranoia inside of you and all of these fictitious beliefs, all of this um
Trick knowledge.
information that's things you've been told that's actually not harmful,
Yeah.
things that you've been told to not be involved with because of superstition.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing about it is that this is what's been holding us in trap
Yes.
and as a people right now, because literally the whole cat is out the bag at this point.
It
The
is.
whole kid, like there's really nothing. No, there's no more lies. Just like it said, the hour has come where every single secret. Okay, so now we know that slavery was never what it was that we thought it was, and
Yep.
we actually always been in power, and even
Yep.
now we in power, but we believe we still enslaved, and the only reason we enslaved is because we haven't been educated on the proper administrative processes to clear ourselves from out of the things that we've been told that you have to be connected to, that you have to live by.
That's right. And also every time we actually tried to congregate and come together and do that, the powers that be, they come in and they make sure they destroy that. You know,
Well,
Black Panthers, Nation of Islam. I
but
mean,
but
we
you
can count them down to
but
where as
you
soon
got to
as we
realize
try,
too.
whenever we try to come to the table, you know what I mean? That's where the infiltration always begins.
Well, you got to realize too that there's a difference between actual organic gathering the masses together
Yes.
and more psyop, because we are as indigenous people, we've been told to follow religion, right?
Yes.
Instead of our culture. And our culture and our religion is two totally different things.
Absolutely.
And
Yeah, yeah, and they get that twisted.
those things right now are at war. They're
Yeah, they are.
clashing right now. And the reason why is because they're two totally separate, like
Yeah.
my indigenous Creek, Seminole, Deer
Mm-hmm.
Clan uh ancestry,
Right.
right? And that's just one side, right?
Right.
Has nothing to do with Islam or Christianity,
Exactly.
Judaism, or anything to do with any Abrahamic belief system. It's connected to Mayan, it's
Right.
connected to Aztec, it's connected to Toltecs, it's connected to those things which were real,
Right.
right? It wasn't
Right.
connected to no 12 disciples of Jesus.
No.
It wasn't connected to none of that.
It was connected to real spiritual
It was
universal
it was
systems.
prior to the story of Noah existed before Christians got a hold of it.
Yeah.
Okay, the
That's right.
story of see, and then the sad thing is that right now the as this big reveal is happening, because this is the quickening that all that stuff. See,
Yes.
the funny thing about the Bible is that when you don't know the Bible's origins, it's easy to go, well, the Bible said it. No, but the Bhagavad Gita said it, the Rig Vedas said it, the
Right. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
temple
exactly.
texts said it,
Right.
the whole Mayan, like, look, peep this out.
It's been documented all over the
Now,
world.
now listen, you heard this first. This I'm telling you, you heard this first on iGod TV.
Mm-hmm.
I ain't heard nobody say this. Okay, nobody teaching this nowhere.
Right.
You correct me if somebody else is. If
Okay.
somebody else is, I'm glad that they are. But let me show you something.
Okay.
Do you know that the Mayan calendar, the way that it reads, is the exact same thing as the Ifa, the what's called the Odu Ifa.
Which
It is the
is
way that your daily prescription of offering to each ancestor,
okay. Listen up, y'all. Listen up.
depending on your situation, right?
Yeah.
And it literally calibrates every single astrological day from the moment you're born, right?
Yes.
So when you go to the priest and you go to get a reading,
Mm-hmm.
okay, and then they call upon the powers, they go to the four directions, they call to the ancestors, they call to the planetary power, they call to the angels, the planetary powers, all these different forces, right?
Right.
And this is like usually across the board, okay?
Mm-hmm.
No matter like almost no matter what culture you go into,
Yeah.
you know, there's a specific there's certain patterns
That's
that
right.
follow in order to do this successfully, because this is just the natural organic way that how it works.
Exactly.
Okay. And
Exactly.
so when I started studying more of the Mayan calendar and I actually got into reading how you follow the calendar daily, and it
Mm-hmm.
gives you a literal prescription of what to do, what not to do based on who you are and your astrology. And it's way more concise. So when they started feeding us all that bullshit about the Mayan calendar, talking about the end of the world in
Yeah.
2012 and
Right.
all of that, people who knew about the Mayan calendar for real know it's propaganda,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Because they're trying to sell. Don't forget now, the Catholic Church had already set up what we know as manifest destiny, right?
Yes.
Because we
Right.
keep forgetting that it's all these long ass plans that's been in order already.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And
Real
now we at the
plan.
point where it's like the Naked Gun and with Reggie Jackson, I must kill the queen. Remember that?
Yep.
Remember that? How they was
Yeah.
remember they was making fun of the queen of England
That's
and all of
right.
that?
That's
Go
right.
back and watch the Naked Gun now because they had already humiliated Norberg or O.J. Simpson. Go watch that science.
Uh-huh.
Go back and watch it. They always make fun of the realest stuff.
They do.
And it's some things that's in the movies right now that if you pay attention to it, you can see exactly what they're doing.
Right. Just
They
like how
tell
they
you their
got that, just like
plans.
how they got that thing going on about the Simpsons.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. They've been. I mean, well, but they it started with the Simpsons, and then they got so blatant with it. They was like, well, we'll just put it in this whole set of series of cartoons
Yeah.
to where it'll be so there blatant mapped out where you got to be an idiot. Like, I mean, they
Mm-hmm.
done told you everything from the fact that they watching Planet Earth from the moon,
Right.
like a TV show, and that is all different kind of extraterrestrial races watching us, laughing at us, like, and at the same time, some of them are like, yo, do y'all realize who y'all are? Like, y'all need to wake up. When y'all wake up, a
Yeah.
whole lot of us, we don't realize that the same things that's happening on this planet is happening galactically.
Mm.
Drugs, the slavery. You
Right.
don't think some of these people that's on this earth is being shipped out to other planets? If you don't, you're blind. Look,
Right.
the galactic war has never stopped. It's called the War of the Ages. It is the cosmic drama.
You're right. You're right.
It just keeps going on and on and on. The caterpillar keeps becoming a butterfly. The butterfly dies, so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the snake eats the snake,
Right.
the rat.
Right.
You know how I
Absolutely.
go. The chain.
Absolutely.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
We have to wisen up and start allowing ourselves to be manipulated a certain way from inside.
Right. See, and that's my question. And that segues right to the next question I was going to ask you, man, is are we really in the driver's seat
Well, based on your behavior.
when it comes to this? You know what I mean? I mean, like even if you feel like you mastering certain levels of the sciences, at the end of the day, how much really are you in
Yeah.
control of the of your destiny?
All right, peep it out. Now I want you to really catch this, right?
Because a
So
lot of people, before you say that, there's a saying where they say, you want to make God laugh, tell him your plans.
hey,
You know what I'm
hey,
saying? So it's
hey,
like, are we really
no, no,
in the driver's seat?
No, we're not in the driver's seat the way we are because we are actually not working together as a community.
Mm,
You see,
right.
our protocol is not the same as our ancestors' protocol.
Mm. So we could be in the driver's seat.
We could be,
Okay. Okay.
could be, but we're scattered right now. We still are too individualistic. Folks, listen, let me tell you something. All these people talking about we in Aquarian age, I'm telling you now, y'all can get mad at me.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to be in the Aquarian age until everybody can think mind to mind.
Right.
We ain't telepathic enough. We ain't empathic enough. We still running around here having the war of the sexes.
Mm-hmm.
And we falling for it. And we don't even understand that's an extraterrestrial plan so that they can sneak in body, so they can be amongst us and cause havoc the way that they used to back then. We don't
Exactly.
even understand, like when they told you, okay, so when Jesus was talking about the whole parable of the last days, that his greatest miracle would be like the story of a big fish, right? It was Jonah.
Right. Right.
He came out of the well unscathed. Jonas was spat on the land. He didn't die. Everybody knows the science that a man cannot be swallowed by a fucking whale. So it wasn't literal. He's talking about
Right.
an age. He's
Uh-huh.
talking about his miracle, meaning that, okay, Jesus was the Lion of Judah, right?
Right.
Okay. So astrologically, the opposite sign of Leo is what, my brother? Aquarius.
Aquarius. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Leo and Aquarius. Right.
Right. And like what we're doing right now, Leo and Aquarius.
Yeah. Me. That's what I was just thinking. That's what hit me in my mind. As soon as you said it, I was like, yeah, we talk about this all the time. Me and you with Leos and Aquarius is
Right.
right.
Exactly.
Right.
So peep it
So
out.
in that parable, what's he saying?
What he's telling you is that you, the kingdom of heaven, you always in contact with the kingdom of heaven. It's your choice to not be in contact with the kingdom of heaven.
Right.
When you get distracted out of all these other things by other things that's going on in this world where you're allowing your mind, your emotions, and we do that. It happens easily because how do we do it? Shit. Well, in this reality, you got to pay bills, you got to make money, you got to.
Right.
In their reality, it was simply living. It was actually having to go mine go to the location and find the metals and
Yes.
mine the, like, or go everybody going out going fishing. Like, we stopped
Yeah.
doing that. That's what's wrong with our
Right.
society right now.
Right. Being self-sufficient instead
Okay?
of dependent on your government for the supplies.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Machining everything where it becomes manufactured to the point where it's no longer organic. This
Right.
is why there's cancer. It's cancer because there's a disconnect between. Look, cancer is Dr. Jewel Pookrum said that from her studies, and she isn't the only one that has said this. I believe Louise Hayes said the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because all diseases originate through either the way you feed your mind or feed your emotions, or how
Right.
you interchange,
Right.
right? And
Right.
so she said the disease of cancer is the disease of the liar. And because there's so much cancer in our society, is because we believe so many lies about ourselves, about who we are, about what we're doing, about the reason we're doing it.
Right.
That's it. That's the
That
real
is.
reason.
No, you're right about that.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
That's why there's so much inflammation, because you mad inside,
Right.
pissed
And so
off, you're
much
angry. Yeah.
depression and anxiety is because you just can't be yourself out here.
And the reason why is because people are not being who they are naturally. They trying to live based off of some kind of religious, what do you
Right.
call it, mind frame, these religious laws and concepts and stuff, and that have totally um usurped.
Yeah, well, because a lot of us, we grew up and we all knew Sunday morning, grandma be waking you up, telling you find your dress shoes.
Well, Sweet Sadie
You
sung
know what I
every
mean? So
morning.
it's kind of like they had already been completely, brainwashed, man, and they felt like they was teaching us the right things, man.
But
That's
that's
the sad part about it is like they really was so passionate about this religion. You know what I mean? that they did everything to make sure we were a part of it, man. And we hide our shoes and hide our dress socks, or just whatever,
Right.
find any reason to not go with them and just anything like that,
And
man. But like,
that's because subconsciously we knew that something in it was a hijack.
mm-hmm.
Something in it wasn't right.
Yeah, because the times we did go, we'd be listening and you'd be thinking like, nah, it couldn't go this way,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know. But you
It
couldn't tell
because
grandma that. Nowhere in the world you're gonna tell grandma
oh
that.
no,
But
no, you're gonna get popped.
yeah, yeah. In our mind, we all were thinking that younger age of us were all thinking like, nah, this is, you know, And do you feel like not taking nothing away from Nation of Islam because I feel like Honorable Elijah Muhammad was one of the most influential people on black men and women in America as far as turning criminals into civilized human beings. You know what
But
I
that's
mean?
because they wanted us to still be into a certain mindset. You got to understand how COINTELPRO worked,
Right,
right? And like
right,
I said before, there was a COINTELPRO before it was called COINTELPRO. And if you don't believe so, you are very foolish.
right,
Okay.
right,
There's always been some form of private or secret investigation into our communities. Okay.
right.
There has always been that. Like,
Uh-huh.
uh,
Because they talk about the reason I'm saying that is because they talk about the 5 percenters. You know what I mean? Well, they call them the nation of gods and earths now, but the true originals, we call ourselves 5 percenters. But they always try to say that we were just a. I mean, they even say about the Nation of Islam too, but they say it's like we were just a nation of criminals. You know what I mean? And people from that did crimes and things in the street. But it was like, no, what you don't understand is our enlighteners were the ones that went into the slums to retrieve those people.
well,
How do you have a Malcolm X? How do you have a Malcolm X coming from the path he was on that every other young black brother was on,
right.
to become one of the most intelligent men on the planet? You know what I
But,
mean? But then you can't
but
turn around and say, "Oh well, this whole Islam thing is the whole thing of thuggery," and it's like, no,
right.
you
Well,
know,
here's
it says
the
your
next
Jesus. It said Jesus went to the poor and went to the prostitutes.
right
So what? So
amongst
what?
Jews
So what's
amongst
wrong when we do it?
right. But see the whole that's the hypocrisy. That's the whole point of what I'm saying is that as long as you living with that paradigm of the Abrahamic belief system, you know, you're
Yeah.
in a paradigm of hypocrisy. You see,
Right.
always the pot calling the kettle black.
Yeah.
You know,
That's right.
it's always the redheaded stepchild calling his black grandfather a nigger.
Yeah.
You understand?
So do you think we just, I mean, not taking nothing away from it because it enlightened a lot of us and it created a lot of great minds. But do you think that we hopped on the Allah train because we were coming out of slavery and we didn't want to use the word God and Christianity? We wanted to try to separate ourselves from the European. So it was a little more, so we were a little more susceptible to switch over to Allah to feel like we were on a different spiritual level. You know what I mean?
Well, it made it easier for us. So here's the thing. In hindsight, looking back, what I grasp is that it was easier for them to give us that side. See, the plan was this. The plan from the beginning was to give you give you so many choices, so where they know if they put you in a particular predicament, they got
Right.
you boxed in.
Right.
They got
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
boxed in, and you're only
Right.
going to go so far, and you'll never think outside of the box.
Right.
So if you was Christian, most people go to Islam or going to go to something that was close to where they came from, connected with, had some kind of foundation in what they were already, connected to,
Right.
aware of, right?
Right.
But then you have those of us who just wanted to simply know the truth and didn't want to be dogmatized, didn't want to be placed under all of the uh,
Yes.
theology and all of the, I mean, all of the,
Right.
all of the I'm sorry, not I didn't mean to say theology. All of the dogma and all the rhetoric and
Exactly.
and so
Exactly. It,
when you start going and actually studying the culture, listen,
mm-hmm.
do people don't understand how ridiculous it sounds for a Christian talk to talk about other religions, especially like they love to go in about voodoo and Santeria and
Yes.
they don't even understand that if they understood their Bible, this the same shit the Hebrews was practicing.
But they talking. Yeah.
This is what they were practicing.
Exactly.
A
Exactly.
goat being sacrificed as a scapegoat once a year in some form to, you know, so that they wouldn't have to kill a man, right?
Right.
It's the same
Right.
principles.
Now, do you think, and it's segueing from that, staying on that same topic, so to speak, but just going a little bit back further in time, do you feel like this was the same type of tension that went on with the priest of Amen and then the priest of
Absolutely,
Aten, the
absolutely,
from
absolutely,
Amen to
absolutely.
Aten?
Listen, this
Give
is
us your
cosmic war.
give us your breakdown. Give us
This
your
is a
breakdown on the priesthood of Amen versus the priesthood of Aten, man, and
listen.
the murders and the
Yeah,
and
it's
all
the,
the things that how it went down, man.
I mean, when you look at that, it's the equivalent of how we right now watch George Lucas show us how the Sith slaughtered the Jedi.
Yes.
It's the same. It's the same story. It's the same thing.
So what
But
do you think Akhenaten? What do you think Akhenaten was doing? Did he not? Well, did he no longer want to be under that dogma, like how you were saying earlier, or was he trying to create the dogma? Well, how do you
no,
feel? What do you
Akhenaten.
feel the tension? Where do you feel the tension came in?
So, well, like I keep saying that this is a galactic war. This is a cosmic war.
Of course,
If you really understand what's going on, you know, if you
right?
really there, if you really not scared and can admit to yourself what's really going on, how the hell we got pyramids on a planet that we ain't fucking never been to, and we know we didn't build pyramids that was here. So let's just be serious and quit playing with ourselves. Like it's whole civilizations on other planets. It's whole look. We have got to be really stupid. I mean, it's 2022
Right.
for real. Like we got to stop playing with ourselves. Like
Right.
for real.
Yeah. How can we expect to
This is a
be how can we
galactic
expect to
war.
how can
This
we
is a
expect to
galactic
encounter sorry about that, I'm sorry. But how can we expect to encounter any of these beings or any of these people operating on this low frequency?
man. Listen,
You know, it's like it's there, like you're saying, this is a galactic thing, but it's like you can't tap into the Wi-Fi because you ain't got the gigahertz. You ain't got the frequency. You know what I mean? Your frequency ain't high enough.
the thing of it is most people are honestly, you know, I don't think people are as unaware as people pretend to be. I think we literally just like I keep saying, you know, Dr. York called it the spell of Kingu, the spell of
Mm.
sleep, the moon spell. Uh,
Free Dr. York.
it's either way, it's cognitive dissonance. We are truly, if we don't have to be disconnected from our spiritual power, we choose to. We choose.
Or sometimes it's never even been presented to us properly.
Well,
You know, a lot of us parents grew up on drugs, you know, and just
that's
wasn't
true.
around. We grew up
That's
holding the house down ourselves. We wasn't opening up no spiritual books or no listen.
right.
You know what I mean? So
Some of it
half
is
of us didn't
definitely
even didn't even get to get a taste of it. You know?
yeah. I some of us happen to be mushrooms.
Yeah.
You know, in the cow
Yeah.
pasture. You know what I mean? That's what I say about that, right?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
the
Yeah.
rose that grows out of the concrete. You know,
Right.
the
That's
weed
right.
that grows
And you know what? I got a question for you. I got a question for you, man, because I've been getting this a lot, you know, and when I get when the, you know when the questions come in, you know what I mean? I always got to bring you on, man. You know what I mean? To solidify it, man, and really break it down for us, man. So the question is this, man, that I keep getting asked is, are we necessarily slaves to our astrological signs? Do these things have to be us? Like people, I see people accept. I mean, I understand that we probably do have to accept a lot of it, but like all we're accepting is like the negative things. Like, yes, I'm an introvert. Yes, I don't like people because I'm an Aquarius. Yes, I love being alone. Yeah, you know
Yeah,
what I mean? It's like
yeah.
all those all those attributes you take, is what you're accepting, but you're not accepting that we're some of the most talented. You know what I mean? We get things done when when we say we say we want to do something, we do it. And those things like that can actually get you somewhere. You know what I mean? We don't look at that. We're all looking at the toxic sides of all of our signs. And I'm just wondering, like, is there a breakthrough through this, or am I just an Aquarius and a Scorpio moon, and that's just how it is. There's nothing I can do about it.
Well, the creator designed us through those principles and parameters. The
Mm-hmm.
designer, some people say the wing makers created. Some people say the Anunnaki set it up. However you want to look at it, right?
Right.
It's not permanent. It is a guideline for you to
Mm,
understand your behavior and your temperature. It's set up. It's another tool that the ancestors made, no different than like how a football coach creates a playbook to play on the football
mm,
field. You know,
I like how you breaking that down. Yeah.
it's
It's
what
a
it is.
template. It's the template
And
that
it,
you got to
it
have.
so let me show you how this go. Basically, this goes back to the comment I was making about before, how the Mayan calendar is the same as the Odu Ephod.
Right, right.
Because if you, and this is astrology, this is what we're trying to essentially learn to do
Yes, and I
in
want all
order
my
to.
astrologists, all the ladies, I want all my astrologists to be listening right now because I'm giving it to you now. You know what I'm saying? So tap in, make sure you listen up right now. Okay, sorry about that, God. Continue.
So essentially, this is what you're doing, right? Uh, you are an astral body, right?
Yes.
You are an astral being, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have you are a multi-density instrument. Like you're not you channel through. You are a wave band, right?
Right. Oh, they loving
That,
you right now. Oh, they loving you right now. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Okay.
right?
Yeah,
So
he on your team right now. He on your team right now, ladies. He on your team
so
right now. Go ahead.
so
Go ahead. Continue. Continue.
so with being a wave band and
Yes.
being a soul sonic force, right?
Uh-huh.
As just that, as music, that means you are constantly putting out a pulse, a
Right.
tone. You're
Right.
beating, you're vibrating, you're resonating, and that source resonates or begins within us, the place that's centered in your heart.
Mm.
Okay, you got brain matter in the center of your heart chambers.
Mm.
Okay, the very center of your heart is brain matter. Okay,
Yeah.
that very thing, that node is where you are coming from. That is where this is what this body is GPSing to. Okay.
Yes.
And
Yes.
it's connected to that place that you connected to out in the far dispensation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What astrology is, or astronomy, well,
Both the
with
same. It's the
with the
same.
astral,
Spiritual and physical.
with the astral geometric projection into this reality is, okay.
You killed him with that word. You killed him with that one. You killed him with that one. Go ahead. Go ahead. Yeah, yeah.
To convey into this realm here, so
Mm-hmm.
that you maintain a sound foundation. Listen to the words I'm using, okay?
Yes. Yes.
Because this is a music sphere. It's different levels of music. So what our ancestor was trying to tell us is that these so-called states of consciousness, they called them planetary spheres or spheres of the planet. They were considered sound modules. They were not necessarily like how we look at this third density as all that there is. They knew that they could jump and skip and move from, I could be on Jupiter if I want to. All I got to do is vibrate
Right.
higher, right?
Right. Right.
Or align myself
Mm-hmm.
so that I can go to the place on the planet that will open up the doorway into that Jupiterian experience,
Right.
right? That will give me that grand arc, unfeathered, unfeathered, untethered, no boundaries
Right.
experience inside of the consciousness of creation,
Right.
right?
And
So,
do you think that's why everybody's out here on the whole ayahuasca and they all taking mushrooms now,
well,
you
it's
know,
that
and
was the
they on the
old world.
DMT and all that? Is this what they think they all trying to do right now? Because that's the craze right now. All the people that feel like they woke now, they on the ayahuasca, they on the mushrooms, you
Right.
know.
Well, see, the thing is that uh the drawback from that is I think that is a lot of it is being done. A lot of it's being done
Just to
without
experience, not
being
necessarily to
properly
evolve,
guided.
probably.
A lot of it is without proper supervision.
Yeah, because
A lot of it,
a lot of people do it like the ayahuasca and stuff like that. I've seen like they have the coach with you, you
yeah,
know, and even the DMT, some people, but a
yeah.
lot of people are just doing it just to see it, just to get the experience.
Listen, this
A
is
lot of
not.
other people aren't really making a change in their life, you
Well,
know,
look.
from it, you know.
So here's the thing. Um.
Like how you feel about the microdosing and all that? Because like they're
Okay.
saying
So
like eating the shrooms a little bit every day, and then I saw
yeah,
the one guy
that's
teaching. He's like, I eat
yeah,
up now. Now I can eat up to like 3 ounces a day. It's like, whoa.
yeah. But here's the thing, though.
I've done them myself and I've ate 3 grams, man. It was like, look, after about 15 hours, I was like, get this off me. I was like Dave Chappelle. I was like Dave Chappelle,
It's
Chief, the
too
spirits
much.
have got me.
It's too
You know?
strong.
Yeah, so if you don't microdose enough up to start to be able to consume 2 ounces of mushrooms, brother, you are definitely seeing some things that I have never seen before in my lifetime, man. But just I don't want to keep cutting you off, man, but just give us a little bit because this is the thing right now of the microdosing and the ayahuasca and the trips and the things that they incorporating into their spirituality right now, man. And how do you feel about it, man? And do you feel like it's really needed?
Well, really, all they're doing is going back to what it was in the beginning. Because if you even, I mean, I'm just putting it out there like there because it's there, you know.
Yeah.
But
Are they using it or are they just being hippies?
nah, that's
Are
see
we evolving or are we
the,
just being hippies
the
again? What are we
whole
doing?
term. You got to ask yourself, like, why do they use the term hippie? Like, why do they make it derogatory, right?
Yeah.
Why did they make it derogatory to not want to be a part of the the further destruction, like okay, like we talked about, it's no different than the music, like um is it corny now to really put out real knowledge of self music, or is it corny to keep putting out this trap, shrill, kill, murder, death music where everybody gonna go to jail or die?
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Right.
like like that's where we're at. Like, even with that, okay, people, I know, look, man, I know people who I've introduced certain things to. Well, I should put it this way: certain
Mm.
things will be introduced to a person, and they come to me, and then I give them what's been handed to me from the elders and my mentors, the priests that
Yes.
I've come in contact with. Right.
Right.
The thing about doing the mushrooms and all of that is that it's no different than an addiction. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
you got to be careful because if you have an addictive personality, you can
Right.
overdo it. You can do too much. You can go too far.
Right.
And we have a tendency to do that when it comes to these things. And to really be honest, when we're doing this, we're not supposed to do it by ourselves.
Right. Of course
We're
not.
supposed to do it. See, in the ancient world, they did all this stuff. We look at them like,
It
oh,
was
they was having these
ritualistic.
wild orgies and
Right. It
it
was
was just
ritualistic and
no.
it was
It was
guided.
ritualistic, ceremonial
Right.
practices.
And
They did
definitely
not.
guided you through.
It wasn't the yin yang twins. We wasn't drink by
Nah, nah.
ourselves, smoke by
Yeah,
ourselves,
nah,
do it
nah.
by my goddamn self.
Right.
You know why the
Nah.
Zulu girls can when they come when they when the girls, the young Zulu girls come of age, why they can actually go out in the square and they can be in their loincloth and their beads and
Mm-hmm.
be breast exposed and stuff like that and feel
Mm-hmm.
safe. You want to know why they can do that? Because it's always been that way. It's not, it's a ritual, it's a
Exactly.
tradition, it's not disrespectful. Like,
Right. You
okay,
know
like when
what?
you
That's
show people,
crazy. That's crazy you said that. Pardon me for a second. That's crazy you said that because just the other day I was talking to somebody and I was like, how do you feel like being a missionary is actually helping somebody when you go somewhere in another country and they are literally men and women walking around naked and no one cares? No one's trying to cheat. No one's trying to sleep with this man's wife. No
right,
one's even looking at this man's wife as a
right,
sexual being.
right,
So, what are you really going to tell this person? This
exactly,
person is more civilized than you.
exactly. You're the one perverted.
Yeah, so you're gonna
Yeah,
bring you coming down as a missionary, bringing pervert. Oh, you need to cover that up now because this can happen with this, and then you know what I mean. It's like these
but you
people
said
don't
it.
even look at it. These people don't even have those type of passions. You know
They're
what I'm saying in their
missionaries,
heart.
right?
But you call yourself a missionary to go down and
But
and change their ways. You know what I
what is a
mean?
missionary? What is a missionary? That that means you got an agenda.
Absolutely.
You go there with an agenda.
And I'm disrespecting anybody that does any of that watches the show either, because I know in your mind you feel like you reaching out, you want to reach out and you want to help and you want to advance the world. You know what I mean? We're just breaking down the logistics of how it really is and and the structure of what it really is, you know?
I mean, I look, I feel like this. Like, I feel like I'm a superhero, but I feel like Spider-Man. I'm a superhero, but I'm an everyday dude.
Right.
Right? Uh,
Yeah.
and so my whole thing is about getting other people to know how to activate their superpowers, how to become their best selves.
Mm-hmm.
And doing that don't necessarily mean that you got to run out here uh, and try to prove to anybody that you're doing anything. That's the other thing.
Exactly. And that's right, man. And listen up when he said that, man, because I mean, if y'all seen from the episodes before, when we interviewed him and all that, man, I mean, he's from we both come from real places, man. Well, back in the day, not I don't want to sound like old heads, but where the real things really happened.
Yes.
It wasn't just fantasy and in a rhyme or just talked about or just posted on a homepage, man. These things were really happening to people, man, and a lot of people didn't make it out of it, man. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? It's like to see the illusion of it still up there. You know what I mean? Of things that the real people involved tried to do everything they could to run away from it and evolve from that. The ones that don't want to evolve from it are the ones that were never really involved, if you ask me.
Well,
You know,
I tried
I
to
mean, you're
stay.
from the man. I mean, it's experience, man. Come on, you
I
know.
mean, look, it's like the whole thing about being from Northeast Ohio, you know, and experiencing a lot. I say to anybody that's grown up in any kind of community like that,
Yes,
because
they're everywhere.
what drugs did to our communities, and this is the thing though, since we're on topic, and
Yes.
I've been saying this over and over and over, and I wish somebody will hear me. This cognitive dissonance, like I wish this veil would be able to be ripped, you
Mm-hmm.
know. But you still got people selling drugs for the police. Like you selling drugs for the same people that's literally trying to stop. you from
Exactly.
advancing in life. Like if we
Right.
really wanted to clean up our communities, we would stop selling drugs to each other.
Right.
I, I know it's I
Are you
know this
watching
shit sound
Snowfall?
corny. It
Are you watching
sounds corny.
Snowfall? Are you watching Ozarks? I mean,
It,
they showing it
it
right to us.
see, it's the corniest shit in the world for somebody that's raised in an area where nigga I gotta get this money,
Yeah.
you know. But we make these choices, right?
Yeah, because
And
there's more options now. Maybe in the 80s and maybe still in the 90s, where they were taking the jobs away and steel mills were disappearing and things like that. You might not have had a choice but to hit the streets and do some things. But now I feel like these generations, you got a choice whether to be a thug, whether to be a street dude or not.
well, I'm gonna give you one word. I'm gonna give you one word, and
Mm-hmm.
I want people to go look up the axioms on this one word.
Yeah.
And if people truly understand, if the people, if the families truly understand the utilization of this one word, see, when you utilize equity,
Mm.
nothing can stop you from coming together and and achieving a goal. Equity makes it to where you cannot fail, and that's the
And
reason
what's
why.
what's equity? What's equity for those that might not know?
Well,
Resources, so to speak.
oh, equity is way more than just resources. But if you want to just simplify it to
Yeah, yeah,
resources, you know,
yeah.
um,
So bring our
but
resources
but
together.
but it's not just resources. No, it's really about fair and impartial treatment of one another. That means that whatever you do, whatever you do me, I get to do you.
Yeah,
It's and
right,
if I take two from you, two should be taken from me. And
right.
so equity in its truest sense is what we think or formulate spiritually as karma, right?
Mm-hmm.
But karma don't really work like equity does. You see.
Mm. Mm.
See, because karma can happen here or there. Karma can happen. Karma usually happens when you don't want it to happen. Okay.
Mm. Okay.
All
Okay.
right. Karma is because it's two sides to karma, but equity is the same way in a sense, right?
Right. Right.
But equity is truly fairness. It's justice. It is
Equality, pretty much.
true equality, you
Right.
know.
Right.
And equity means that unlike what they do in the entertainment industry, I'm not going to rob you of your intellectual property.
Right.
I'm not going to rob you of uh, what it is that you bring to the table and capitalize off of that without giving your fair share of what it is that you brought to the table.
Right.
Okay. Like banks right now are not operating in equity. Okay. Most of you homeowners,
Mm-hmm.
did you get a check for that loan that the bank gave you? If they didn't actually give you a physical check that you could take to any other bank to cash for yourself,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
All they did was a credit to you. That means they didn't give you fair equity exchange for your down payment. And
Right. Right.
that what as we call it cold hard cash,
Uh-huh.
right? That cold hard cash that you using, that you
Yeah.
used your equity, your blood, sweat, and tears. It took time.
Mm-hmm.
You had to get up, you had to wash your body, get dressed. It's a whole cycle.
Right.
It's a
Yeah.
preparation.
People talk
Listen,
about sweat equity.
listen. These major companies that are multi-billion-dollar companies, the the Fortune 300, the Fortune 800, the Fortune 500, Fortune 100, all of these people who work at the top of these companies, the Queen of England, the Pope, they know this. They capitalize off of the cosmic astrological energy that you choose to not function, that
Mm.
you choose to not take the driver's seat on.
Right.
And then they give you a watch after you, well, they used to anyway. when you would retire to show you to as a reminder just how much time you wasted giving them your equity, not getting fair exchange in return.
Right.
And that's your karma, because you could have stepped out of working for any one of those companies at any given time. This is what humanity is faced with right now.
Mm-hmm.
We stop doing for self.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So the reason that the principles of what it is that, like the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, all of the teachers taught this. It wasn't just Elijah Muhammad. He wasn't the only person teaching
Right.
knowledge of self
Right.
and do for self. It
But
wasn't a new
but
teaching.
most people know him. Most people know
You
him
know,
mostly. But yeah.
the reason he was so profound is because like I keep telling everybody, go do your research.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there was a chess game happening right then. And the way they knew they wanted to control us was they was going to control the paradigm of Christianity, Judaism, Islam, because they got to set up this manifest destiny so-called bullshit that they got going on. And
Exactly.
you got, look, go get you go buy you some Illuminati cards so you can see what it is they want to do in this manifest destiny.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and all of that shit's based off of astrology because they planned it based off of the astrological turns, all of the squares, all of the retrogrades, all of the full moons. So don't let them fool you into not utilizing the tools. Look, the cross that you hung Jesus up on ain't nothing but a GPS. Now let's go there.
Mm.
It's your latitude, longitude position.
Mm.
Is where you stand on the planet every day. And if you are not aware of your astrological configuration, if you're not aware of your Jehudi, if you ain't got the wisdom to see your 8 points of direction, if you're not the doctor of your octagon, somebody will subvert your energy and take your energy. They call Jacobites, right? The supplanters,
Right.
right? Like they say, if you don't use your body, somebody else will use it for you.
Right.
So this goes back to what you was asking me in the very beginning about these different entities,
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, look, we all know in a minute they're going to be zombies out here. So you want to talk about, I mean, you
Empty
got, because
bodies. Yeah.
I mean, it's all kind of forms out here. It's all kind of forms like, they putting back out into the earth. They putting chimeras back out into the planet.
Right.
You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Coming from out of the underground chambers. They just throwing them out there in nature now, right? Like no big deal. You know,
Right.
people seeing them and come in contact with them and all kind of things because they don't. It's the same thing. Nothing has actually ever changed. We just are under this illusion, and it literally is an illusion. It's an energetic force field. That's why they made that. We don't need I keep going back to it. Tina Turner and the whole thing about Mad Max and the Thunderdome. We are under a dome. It is a literal harmonic dome.
Yeah.
I'm telling y'all. They
Yeah.
showed it to you in King Kong, the last King Kong.
Uh-huh.
They showed you Kong looking up at the sky, pick up the tree, and throw that damn tree into the thing like it's the Truman Show.
Yeah.
They're literally telling us it's not even a joke. And if we don't wake up quick,
Yeah.
and it's sad. It's really sad. It's really, but
No, you're right.
we this game is so ill, man. I mean, when I think when I used to go into meditation and really try to wrap my mind around the totality of what it is that we're actually experiencing,
Yeah.
as a soul having a human experience,
Mm-hmm.
And when I started understanding that if you don't have the kind of ability where your mind can compartmentalize all of these things, like, okay, like our brain, all of your brain cells, imagine, if you will, imagine all your brain cells are actual, each cell
Right.
is a crystal
Mm-hmm.
that has the ability to put out as much information as the whole brain.
Like a transmitter.
just one cell.
Mm.
Okay. So when you are in discord and all of your crystals are not reacting in harmonic are not in harmonic alignment together.
Mm-hmm.
Think about what it does to the way you perceive this reality.
Talk about the Matrix,
Now,
right?
first of all,
Talk
you got
about
to
a Matrix, right?
now. Well,
Wow.
first of all, you got to look at how you connecting with yourself because
Mm-hmm.
you're out of tune, you're out of alignment.
Everybody hates themselves. No one's
Right,
happy with themselves at all.
right, exactly, and that's what they know was going on right now because they know that they gave you so much religion and so that now so many people seeking for just some way to get to escape,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And most people are not willing to just learn how to sit down, be quiet, and breathe. The whole time
Yeah.
was going through that COVID thing, that's when folks should have been learning how to really master their meditation. You had the opportunity.
Right. And a lot of people took advantage of it, and a lot of people didn't, man. A lot of people
Oh,
it went the other way for them, you know. And you was right. You're right. You should have took that time to really, take advantage of, reconnecting with yourself and seeing where you want to go with everything, what I mean, for yourself, you know what I mean? And
right.
that's just the simple facts, man. So it's like, so I just want to ask, man, on a scientific level, man, you know, just to switch speeds real quick, man. I had a question personally that I just wanted to ask you, man.
Mm-hmm.
And do you let's talk about hydrogen for a second, man.
Okay.
And
In the realm of plasma.
do we and I'm just thinking because I was having a conversation with somebody, you know what I mean, about this. And I pretty much said to them, I pretty much said that every element was is hydrogen. You know what I mean? And everything is in hydrogen units. You know what I mean? Which is really
Absolutely.
just hydrogen being duplicated. Because like if people know anything about the core of the sun, inside the core of the sun, there's hydrogen atoms moving around so fast they collide and create helium
Helium.
atoms.
Exactly.
You know what
And
I
what did
mean?
I say? And what did I say before about what is a sun? A sun is what? A sun is a speaker.
Mm-hmm.
The sun is a speaker. It's a sound. It's sound resonation that
Yes.
creates the illumination,
Right.
right? That's
Right.
what's doing it. It's not the other way around.
Mm-hmm.
The way that energy creates. So look, if people didn't learn it in science, hot and
Yeah.
cold electricity, hot and cold creates electromagnetic,
Mm-hmm.
electromagnetism.
Right.
Electromagnetism creates sound. Sound creates light.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Right.
light
Right.
creates heat. Sound creates heat. Like there's a guy that was a scientist. They killed the man. He had his whole house hooked up to where it was hooked. Everything was hooked up to his keyboard, and all he had to do was press his keyboard. If he wanted to heat up the house, it only took a second. He would go hit a note, doop, and the house would get hot. If he wanted to cool
Right.
it off, he'd go hit a note. The house would cool down. If he wanted
Yeah.
to boil water, he'd go hit a note on the keyboard. He'd go make some coffee for somebody. He could, man, look, that's
Harmonics.
that is the science our ancestors had and mastered. And they killed him because they knew that he knew what it was. And
Yeah.
he could not be allowed to transmit that information to nobody open
Right.
openly because people can
Openly.
do it
Yeah.
now. It's people who got that science, like
Right.
the masters, the
Uh-huh.
all of the qigong masters and
Mm-hmm.
um the qigong masters that you can see like spark fire with their hands and
Right.
you
Right.
know uh uh, uh listen,
But they don't mostly do it publicly at all, really. Most of
no,
them is up under oath to never do it. But
no,
then,
no, it's not supposed to be done. Look, like the five deadly venoms,
yeah,
all
right.
these all our hard work for nothing.
Yeah,
All these
right,
powers, we have to hide them.
right.
You should have joined a different clan. You
Right,
know what it is
right,
before you join the
right,
dotted line.
right. So it's like, is there anything else? Is there anything else but hydrogen, man? Is my question, man.
All consciousness is moving. Think about it. Like,
Because a science teacher is actually who I was discussing it with, and they were telling me, well, once it becomes helium, it's its own thing. It,
no,
it,
it's
it
still no, it's still a hydrogen base.
Thank you. This
Just
is
like
what I'm.
we
This is what I
carbon
was trying
beings,
to. This
just
is
like
what I'm.
we carbon beings, and they're carbon base.
Yeah. So that's six hydrogen atoms, right?
Exactly.
Right. So that's what
And
you know,
even when
and
it
but
gets
but they're
smaller, it's
trying to
still
tell me in science in school, they're trying to tell you that no, this is carbon. It's transformed once it creates its own, energetic field or whatever it is, it's a different frequency and it's a different thing, and it's like, no, it's just the evolution of hydrogen, right? So would hydrogen be one of the first, let's so to speak, creations as far as like
hydrogen.
gases, or is it like the building block to this whole, galaxy?
Hydrogen is the basis for all physical synthesis.
Mm,
Once you go from zero into hydrogen,
yeah,
hydrogen one,
yeah.
that's physicality. That's
Mm,
all states and forms of physicality, no matter how minute.
mm. Is that
And
so?
and
So
once you step from there into anti-hydrogen,
yeah,
okay,
uh-huh.
oh well, then see that's when you talking about the beings that are they're made from nitrogen.
Mm,
And they have a whole nother basis and setup, design of how they exist. Heat and cold don't even matter to them. Like they
so
don't.
so could we say that the creator so that could we say that the creator used the formula of the hydrogen atom to create this reality?
Well, look, you hydrogen and nitrogen do what when you put them together?
They explode, don't they?
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And they say, how was the universe according
Combust,
to
so to
them?
speak. Combust, so to speak. Yeah.
Exactly. And according to them,
Big Bang.
because when you breathe air, that's hydrogen and oxygen, right? And
Yeah.
oxygen oxidation is another is or nitro is similar as oxygen. It's another form of it. You
Mm-hmm.
see, and
Mm-hmm.
so the universe is always burning. The universe is always boiling. It's always churning. It's water. It's never going to stop fermenting. It's a big vat of wine, beer. It
Right.
is.
It's
I mean,
made to regenerate. It's made to
yes.
regenerate
It's
itself.
constantly. It's the blob. It's the
Yeah.
cosmic
Right.
slot.
Right.
Okay. It is what like you can never. I don't care what state of density you got to. There's going to be some form of even you can. Yeah, they say you can't squeeze blood out of a rock, but there's you sure can get water out of one.
Right. Right. Right.
You can get water
So
out of a rock
so
because all
we
you got to do
saying
is
so we saying that are we saying hydrogen and nitrogen are running parallel
no,
as
no.
far as in the creation, or are we
They
saying
no,
hydrogen's first?
they have different. It's neither. Uh they have different reasons for being in they have different purposes. They have different purposes in the universe or in the multiverse, however you want to look at it. Like, see,
Mm-hmm.
when we come to the perspective of having a mindset of just allowing a substance to be what it is and not wanting it to uh there to be first, last, or but allow its purpose to be what it then we'll be able to observe ourselves better.
Right.
you know so for instance, since we on the topic like with hydrogen,
Yes.
so as as a Reiki master,
one of the things that I understand about our biofeedback is that the reason we feel pressure when a person walks up on you is that it's the biofeedback and it's the hydrogen, right?
Right,
Because
right,
hydrogen is it holds the electricity, it holds the magnetism, and it's in the atmosphere, right?
right.
We know
It's
it's
in
there,
everything. It's in
right?
everything.
Exactly. And so, without we don't understand like what we're no different than the reptile. Like if we use more of our reptilian, amphibian, senses or states of ourselves, like this, the interface with this reality could be so much more simplistic.
Yeah.
It would be less compromising as far as like trying to comprehend our true spiritual essence. You know,
Right. And
um,
that's a good point. You know what? That's a good point because you know what? Through the generations of time, it's been said, and people still say it to this day. There's no owner's manual to life. And you know what? If you ask me, I think there was. And they and they hid it from us
yeah.
so we wouldn't be able to know
Well,
how. There
no,
is an owner's manual to this
we look
life.
we looking at it. It's the so peep it out now. Your own
It's been
personal owner.
documented, written in stone on
Yeah,
how
but
this life should be
okay.
is to be
So
lived.
so let's go back to that, right? Because
Yeah.
here we go. We go back to that astrology again, right?
Yes, yes.
So look, is you're the only person that has your unique fingerprints, right?
Uh-huh.
You're the only person that has your unique astrological signature as well.
Right.
Your whole imprint and everything, all of it
Yes.
is you, personal to you, and that is the creation's allotment of divinity to you and you alone, right?
Right.
To interface
Mm-hmm.
with the rest of the players in the cosmic ball, right?
Right. 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 Right.
So if we go on disco, your light gotta shine, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's got to reflect, it's got to refract.
It has
And
to
so
shine.
that means we got to interact. That
Yes.
means that we must be angels, or we come in contact with each other through squares or angles, angels,
Right.
archangels. You
Right.
see,
It's all
when you
geometry.
when you
Yes.
and so exactly. So there's a literal way. Our ancestors knew how to take the algebra, the geometry, the trigonometry, the biology, and put it all together in the astrology.
Mm-hmm.
It is the astrotheology. They just never taught us that. They don't. We never understood that it's actually part of physics. Astrology is actually a part of physics.
Right. Right.
If
Yeah.
listen,
Astrotheology been
listen,
my
listen,
thing
listen.
lately. I've
I
been on it.
use
I've been on it lately.
astrology. I use astrology to heal people. Okay,
Right. Right.
not just to give a diagnosis. I literally can tell them the pattern that they've been doing and for how long, when they started doing it, and how long it will take for them to stop that.
Right. Right.
Okay. And
Mm-hmm.
the whole thing, like how they tell you 21 days, and actually, there's a whole nother series of energy modalities we can utilize that can stop it on the here and now. Okay.
Right.
Present form, present tense,
Mm-hmm.
right? Where you can take somebody that has an addiction and take the addiction away from the experience,
Right.
and it will no longer have the addiction. The way
Mm.
you take the addiction away from the experience is it has to be ritualized,
Yeah.
ceremonialized,
Right.
right? That means it can't be done by themselves.
Like how when people get off,
Now, peep it out.
like how our aunties and all them aunties and uncles, when they was getting off the crack, they go to church, get baptized,
Right.
it'd be a
Exactly.
whole ritualistic to
Right.
get them up, I
But
know exactly what you're saying.
but check it out though.
Yeah.
When they was doing the crack and shooting up the heroin and stuff, they would go into a space where a lot of people do it, a crack house, right?
Yeah.
And
Right.
they would go in there and they would get high and have sex and all kind of crazy shit like that.
Right.
But it was all debauchery. It was all destructive. It was not elevative. So it brought out the toxic side of themselves.
Right.
It fed more of that side of the wolf.
Right.
As we say.
Right.
You
So
know,
when they went to church finally and got saved and baptized through that ritualistic, they was able to, pretty much wash themselves clean of that.
well, not
Is that
necessarily.
symbolically,
Some
I'm
of
saying.
them, no, see, some of them only took, some of them cleaned their bodies. So check this out. Some of them, they cleaned the addiction of the body.
Yeah.
But they didn't clean the addiction of the habit of the behavior
Of the mind.
of
Yeah.
where it
No,
started.
you're right about that.
What
Because
it
I had a
is.
few people.
And
I had a few
so,
people that came out of it. Yes, they did
and so
shake the habit, but they were still the same person.
Church, religion,
Yeah,
becomes their new addiction. That's why so many. This is why this goes back to what we was talking about earlier. This is how and why, in a certain sense, is kind of like giving religion, a religion to an addict is like giving candy to a child.
mm-hmm.
You see, because
Right.
it further feeds. Like, I'm
They
not
looking,
saying it
they
don't
looking for
make
that
them
way
better
out.
people.
They're looking for that way out, So
Yeah, I'm not saying it don't make them better people. What I'm saying
right.
is that addictive behavior
Mm-hmm.
gave them something else to latch on to with that same energy.
Right.
Right.
Right. Right.
And
It's helpful. It's helpful by getting you out of that space, but that don't necessarily mean that that's the space that's going to elevate you in life. Yeah, I know exactly what you're saying. That don't necessarily mean that's the space,
right?
That elevates you and connects you to the universe. That don't mean that that's that.
Because what they really need, what we really needed, was to be with nature.
Yeah.
That's what's really healing. That's what's wrong with people. I come to find, and soon I'm going to be announcing another mound tour. I'm getting ready to get back on my mound excursion.
Oh yeah, man. I'm definitely gonna pull up for that because I've been waiting to go back down there. I ain't been down there.
Experience the what it was what the masters was doing.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that I'm the only one doing it. I just know that when I do it,
right,
it rocks something.
Mm-hmm. I'm definitely gonna be in attendance for that one. But man, look, I gotta say it, man. We've been breaking down the astrology nights, man. I know they've been loving it, man, because I've been getting a lot of questions about it, man. But I do have to ask it just to end that segment of it. Is there a way to master our astrological signs and break the chains of our astrological signs? You know what I mean? And
there's a whole system.
Move, yeah, but you can't do it individually, not individually.
I mean, you have to do your individual study, absolutely. But what it is that most people do not study their astrological configuration. And so, I mean, if people want their charts done, I do charts. I give consultations. Through the whole gamut. I give business consultations. I've showed people how to avoid pitfalls, let them know where their businesses could possibly, have certain kind of, issues or whatever,
Right. Yes, y'all make sure y'all tap in with the God, man. Make sure y'all tap in.
Aspect of your life is utilized in that pie.
Right.
And that's what is called the devil's pie, right? Details is in the devil's. So
yeah.
The devil is in the details, and the details of your astrological chart, okay, that's the real Jesus Christ, y'all. That's the sun. That's the sun disc that you see everywhere on the wings.
Yeah.
That's the sun that you follow. And that's all. That's the real secret that they hide in the shit. They might kill me for what I just said. I don't know. But the truth of the matter is that whole sun, like when they show you the ancient symbol of the sun and the cross, right? This is why I keep telling y'all, it's a GPS. It's showing you in astrologically the four squares or your four quarters, right? Spring, summer, winter, fall. All right. All of my astrologers, come on, y'all know the business. Follow. Okay.
Right.
And so excuse me, I got tongue tied for a second. So when you go through those four elements, those four quarters, they also connect with temperatures, right? So spring being
right,
cold and moist. Cold and moist. Summer being hot and moist. Fall being hot and dry, and winter being cold and dry. See? And so when you look at those, the changes and the shifts, there, everything is based off of quarters. Okay, quarks, quarters, or halves,
right,
biops. You understand?
right, right.
So it's lingo, it's jargon. This is what confuses most people. Don't let the jargon confuse you. Learn the linguistics of the modality that you're learning, and then it makes it easier to understand. People, one of the things that like people go, well, I want to get my chart read, but I don't understand it. And I tell them, like, look, it makes no sense for you to get your chart read or get your chart done if you're not going to really invest into you the time that you need to learn yourself. Okay. I see people who I've come across people who are who claim to be astrologers, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm gonna talk about this.
Right.
They claim to be astrologers, right? And they'll do they'll do the synastry between them and somebody else, right? And then certain things will happen, but not acknowledge the fact that there were certain squares or oppositions in their personality, and to not either not take it personal, avoid it by not taking it personal, or B, to see that it is the oppositions of personality at that moment in time because of what's going on.
Yeah.
See? And so this is what astrology has done for me, is it let me live in reality where my trials and tribulations ain't so personal. I don't feel like Job no more. I don't feel like there's some evil entity up above me laughing at me because of the mistakes that I'm making or the perils that's going through my life. No, I know that it rained upon every man head.
Right.
Period.
Exactly.
Okay? And when it rains, it pours. So you better hope it don't pour salt.
That's right. That's right,
but
man.
Remember, you the salt of the earth.
Exactly.
All right.
Yeah. That ain't there.
So keep
it
your
ain't
flavor,
there.
neighbor.
It happens for you, not to you.
Right. Exactly. And as long as, so if you are the kind of mind that you say it's happening to you, then you are subjective.
Exactly.
If it's happening for you, then you are objective. Now, don't let your objectivity put you into a subject where you are the wrong object of affection. Because you can become idol worship.
Yeah.
You can become idly worship, or you can be idly worshiping something.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I see people do that. A lot of people are trapped up into stuff that spiritually don't even mean them no good at all. Like, if you really want to get spiritual, go out in nature, y'all.
Right.
Don't run to the church. I'm not trying to disrespect nobody's religion or not. Don't run to the temples. Go to nature. Every single holy scripture that I've looked in the ancient days. So look, all right, put it this way. And all the old temples that you see around that's built around the planet, are they open? Aren't they one with nature? Are they open?
Right.
Are they closed off from nature?
Right.
Okay. If you go to the Sun Temple, down in Mexico City in Chichen Itza, and you clap, there's a sound that comes back, a whistle back of a bird call. All right.
Yeah.
So they knew what they was doing. Yeah. None of them temples are built. They are all, every last one of those temples are built because of astrology.
Yeah.
They built to balance the planet. And this generation, right here, the reason why they said that they know that we were the most ignorant. We have yet to build a pyramid. We have yet to build one. We got skyscrapers. We got all kind of other kind of buildings. We don't have a real pyramid. We got fake pyramids. Right. We got illusory pyramids. But the reason we cannot build a pyramid the way that we did, the way that they did then, it's not because the science don't exist. We ain't opened our hearts.
Yeah.
Your astrological chart gives within you all of the lessons that you need to learn. See, that's the real knowledge itself. You didn't need, and this is no disrespect, but if they would have taught you how to go into your astrology chart and read your astrology from the time you were born and look and start understanding, and see, this is not your whole life. You don't base your every single thing on this. These are the parameters of how you play the game.
Right. Right.
When you look,
You're
what do
not a
football
slave to it.
players do?
You're not a
Football
slave
players,
to it.
they live, breathe, and die football, right?
Right.
Okay. So if you want to be a good citizen, galactic citizen, you better learn the astral world and the astral principles. Solar beings. Because y'all really slaves here.
Right.
You're really slaves because you think too small. You think too little of yourselves. Your cell, some of y'all trapped inside the very nucleus of the cell, never been outside the cell wall.
Right. That's why social media is
never been outside of the mitochondria. Never left your mom.
That's why social media is so big, because now they feel that when they get that like, when somebody hits that like on their picture or whatever, it makes them feel seen and known, and you know what I mean? That's the only satisfaction that they get.
Social media was the biggest hijack, and it was designed specifically for the female. They knew that with social media, they could distract us and take us off our path for while they distract us for the last 20 years. Social media has had us distracted. They've been doing all kind of shit.
Yeah.
They have been doing things. They have been doing things that our imaginations couldn't even think to wrap our minds around.
Got our women totally distracted.
Oh, man, listen. They got our women fighting us. Listen, I'm telling you, this is so sick. It's so sick. It's such a diabolical scheme, and only extraterrestrials could have done this to us. But and I'm saying this, I can base what I'm saying on facts. When I say what I'm saying, okay? Because it's all in your scriptures. So don't come at me like some nut. Like, oh, he believes in aliens doing all of this. And you believe in fucking angels. So let's talk about the language barrier.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay? Because you believe in angels and demons, and I deal with them on a real, from physical to the spiritual. Okay? I don't run from them. I ain't scared of ghosts.
Right.
Okay? I got a proton pack, and it ain't outside of me.
Right.
All right. I know how to banish demons and get negativity to fuck out my life.
Right.
I don't have to call on some other higher entity or being to do things that I got the power that the creator already invested in me.
That's right.
Okay. So don't make me go there.
Right.
Because people get ignorant. They like to take words and, create the chicken ball.
They do.
All they doing is jacking off. All they doing is masturbating. Right. And that's what a lot of people like to do. They like to get you caught up, taking off course, and get you caught all up in your emotions. Well, I'm not one of them people.
Exactly.
I'll cut you out and keep moving on, and I'll be just as divine and just as holy.
Right after. Right. That's right. That's right. That's right. But yeah, like we were saying though, man, that like especially with, I mean, not against the women, but the social media with the women.
Here's the thing.
Like, they separating us totally. They make them feel like they don't need us.
But they told you, it says it in the Bible. Look, it said that this will become Babylon the Great, right?
Yeah.
Right? She is the harlot, right?
Right.
And it says that the attitude of the women here I sit, I'm a boss bitch. I don't need a nigga.
Right.
I can have a baby and send a nigga on his way. I can take his sperm, pay for some sperm.
Right.
Just go get knocked up by some random nigga and keep it stepping if that's what I choose to do, because I'm a boss bitch. Right? Because now she's a career woman, and the word career is actually warrior. Go look up the roots of it. It goes back into warrior, being a warrior. So what they don't understand is that this is not a gender war, because really it could never be a gender war. Okay.
Right. No.
What this is an economic empowerment struggle. They gave the economic power to the woman and usurped the man by utilizing the system, the government, the state, the agency.
Right.
Okay?
They're doing it now.
Uncle Sam became your stepdad. So he's the one really poking you in the booty, ladies.
Exactly.
All right. He's the reason why you went and you got to keep getting all these degrees and get all this debt, and you got to be a boss bitch. And you're going to be 30, 40, 50, still mad at man, because you had to do all of these things that men were supposed to do for you, but they tricked you into the paradigm of trying to think like a man and live
Right.
like a woman. Well, you can't do that.
Right. And you
Listen,
know what? And you know another thing too is they don't allow any of the women to have any of these benefits if a man's around.
that's right. And so that's the whole hijack. But see, listen,
Yep.
there's now, I got to say this. Not all of our women have fallen to this, because I talk to a
No.
lot of women
Right.
that
Right.
are
Pretty powerful
so
women,
like
man.
they listen. I talk to a lot of women who used to be that woman.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
And are a lot of these women have a lot of them, thanks to like sisters like Shahrazad Ali. We can't give her enough praise, man, because listen, what she wrote, okay, what she wrote in the Black Woman's Guide to the Black Man and the Black Man's Guide to the Black Woman.
Yes.
Listen, sisters, I wish y'all would go get that book and empower yourselves. And, you know, not just Queen of Fua's book and Ayanna Van Zandt and all these other. No, go get Shahrazad Ali. She got some things in there that y'all need. Look, as a man, there's things that I was able to grab. Look, when you live in a family full of women and you go through this shit.
Me too. Exactly.
You can't tell them nothing.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
You grow up telling them, this is a knucklehead nigga, leave him alone. He telling people in the locker room what he gonna do with you.
Right.
I'm trying to tell you I love you. Don't do that.
Right.
Okay? Our women have to be protected. And sometimes, like they say, you got to let them bump their head. Okay? Our women are bumping their head right now, and they don't understand that your protection, look, this might sound some sexist, whatever. I don't care.
No, don't,
one
man.
Thing I understand about geometry
is man who care about his women talk. That's
one thing I understand about geometry and how the universe designed everything archetypically. Okay? Yeah. Form denotes shape. All right. Women are round. You got more fat cells in your body. Your body's designed the way you are, with fatty deposits in certain areas for a reason. Okay. All right.
Right. Right.
And so men are straight. Our bodies are designed to carry and hold more weight, to bear more pressure, to deal with more stress. Our lungs are bigger. Our heart is bigger. Your brain is bigger, which means that you actually supposed to be doing less physical shit.
Exactly. Naturally.
Straight up. That's not even a lie. That's
their nature. Right. We're talking about the nature of the man and the woman.
In the ancient day, and Rod Hayes said this on a interview some time ago, but this has been known in ancient teachings by Sumerian teaching. The woman has been known as the computer. She is the database.
Right.
Okay. Women are computers. So this is the reason why
you see no girl like on the shirt. We see no girl on Black Panther.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
Genius.
Right. Exactly. And like they don't tell you, like, well, I mean, they don't tell you that the reason why is because to create a computer, what runs a computer? It's all runs off of a motherboard.
The motherboard, yeah.
Hello.
Right.
The hardware is attached to the motherboard. The board,
yeah. That's right. Runs the whole system. That's right.
So this whole thing of this, like, it's a lie. Women have always been in power. Europeans, since Europeans and colonialization, women have been stripped of that power. Becoming or the utilization of the Abrahamic belief system is what stripped women of power. Prior to that, you can go everywhere else on the world and see images of men and women together equally.
Exactly. That's right. That's right. Okay. You see it in the King's List.
Look,
we're in Kemet. You know what I mean?
There there have
know.
always been in the ancient world. The one thing that is being disrupted now, and they know why they're doing it, okay? Because they know that our DNA is about to shift. So look, they know because the DNA is about to shift that there's all right, you know, your glands, when they start vibrating to those higher frequencies, when you start putting out that feel good energy for a long, long time,
Yeah.
okay, and you stop being stressed and you stop being so worried, and you actually can get focused and manifesting things beyond just physicality, because it ain't
Right.
all about what the fuck you can buy or what you can, you know, man, look, it's
Right.
paradises and within paradises in a non-physical realm. And I don't mean that to mean to for it to sound like you got to be somewhere trapped in your imagination, because
Right.
it manifests into reality. I'm a
That's what I was
beautiful
gonna say.
person, and the
Yes,
only
it can be
reason
in
I
reality.
became that way is because I freed myself
Mm-hmm.
from the confines, like Michael Jackson said, from the confines of the criminality
Right. Right. Yeah. Word. Word.
of the false Pope Father.
That's what you got to do.
You know,
Right.
that's what I did. I danced myself out of my constrictions.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I released that. I
Right.
learned how to vibrate. I learned how. Look, I didn't just want to become. I didn't want to just become free as a bird. I started flying with the birds.
Mm-hmm.
I actually put myself in the mindset to when some birds can fly past, I can actually say, you know what? My ancestors say that we can embody those spirits. So let me embody the spirit of this
Mm-hmm.
hawk that's
Mm-hmm.
going by me, or this dove that's flying by me. You
Yeah.
know, because a dove and a pigeon the same birds. You know that,
Right. Right. Right.
right?
Right. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So don't belittle the dove. Like people be talking shit about Mike Tyson. He playing with doves, nigga. When
Mm-hmm.
doves cry, like Prince said.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
If Mike Tyson ain't one of the best examples of deserving to play with doves, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And
That's the
shout out to him too,
this
man, because that's another brother, man, who noticed, his psyche and the mind state he
man.
was on, man, and he changed his
Now
life,
look,
man. He's one of the deepest dudes
but see,
out right, and
Mike,
out right now, man. He's talking that talk, man.
but
I don't
see, Mike
expect to get it
Tyson,
from Mike Tyson. I don't
Mike
expect to get
Tyson,
it from Mike Tyson, man.
you got to understand Mike Tyson being a cancer. I don't know his whole chart,
He
but what I
real
can tell you,
philosophical. He been real philosophical lately, these last 5 years.
so you got to understand, okay, so the astrological chart, as far as the ages, soul ages, and I didn't create this. This is Native. I learned this through Native American astrology.
Yeah.
They go like this, okay, and it's 12,000, cycles,
Okay.
12,000 year cycles. So
Okay.
okay, so you got Aries, Gemini, Taurus.
Uh-huh.
Those are the youngest three. That's the youngest three triad.
Right.
Then you got Libra, Scorpio. No, I'm sorry, Libra, Sagittarius, Scorpio. That's the
Mm-hmm.
next set of three. Remember, I said it's always in quarters.
Right.
Then you have, Capricorn, Pisces, Aquarius. Okay, that's the
Mm-hmm.
next triad. Then the last triad is Cancer, Virgo, Leo. So
Mm-hmm.
now you know why Jesus is the Son of God, right? He was a
Mm-hmm.
Lion of Judah.
Right. Right.
Okay,
Right.
I came from my father. You
Mm-hmm.
know, so it's the Prometheus. You got to come down Jacob's ladder and go back up. The sun, the sun shine, gonna shine, gonna shine. It's the only thing. It's the only. It's the. So you got to understand one thing about the sun signs is that it's more than just your personality. It's telling, like I said, it's talking about where you are in your evolutionary state. So
Yeah.
Mike Tyson is in
Yeah.
the
You need to
last
know that.
quadrant. He's an old soul.
Yeah.
Okay. And so one thing I can tell you about cancers is, so Cancer in the tarot is the Chariot. Okay.
Mm.
It's also the moon, but It's the chariot, right?
Okay.
And Cancer deals with the 32nd degree latitude, longitude, parallel of Tropical Capricorn. I mean, Tropical Cancer, right?
Right.
It
Right.
is diagonal movement. It's like on the chessboard, it is the bishop. The bishop,
Okay.
both bishops are Cancer, Capricorn. Okay.
Okay.
All right. They move. That's the X's on the flag that you see, right?
Mm-hmm.
And why is that so important? Because without movement, without being able to rotate, okay, there is no momentum, there is no torsion, there is no torque, there is no, you can't turn, right?
Right.
Seasons don't change without
Right.
spin, right? Right. So that Cancer represents water.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it's a water sign, right? It's
Right.
emotion. It's the
So it's
emotional body,
emotion, right? I was about to say, so
right?
you know, it's
But
motion,
well, it
emotional.
starts out as the emotional body because
Yeah.
let me get you to understand something about the physical thing. So I'm gonna teach you some teach the people some things about themselves right now. So it's not just your emotions, y'all. Cancer is more than just your emotions. Your emotions is a low level trigger or the physical trigger to your higher empathic and intuition senses. Okay.
Right.
And so many times we can have a feeling and we don't understand. That's why it happens in your gut.
Yeah.
The reason it happens in your gut is because that's where the majority of copper is in your body. So when it comes to the solar plexus, and notice the solar plexus, which is yellow, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
But it's called the solar plexus. So shouldn't it be connected to the sun like the heart is the sun? The sun is because the heart chakra is connected to Leo, right?
Yeah.
So why ain't
Right.
it the solar plexus? Because the color yellow is Leo and the sun, right?
Right.
The solar plexus is the heart of the body.
Uh-huh.
That's where you do all of your digestion, you absorb all your nutrients, so on and so forth. Well, the
Right.
greatest copper deposit is in the nerve systems, the heart, the nervous system, the heart, and the digestive system.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I just gave a big
So you get that feeling in your gut. That's that. Yeah.
boom, boom. So
Right.
and then the other place is, of course, you feel it in the back of your neck, but that's your nerves, right? That's still that's
Yeah.
the spinal
Yeah.
column. So
Yeah.
when your spidey senses start going off, boom, your spidey senses. So that's your intuition, which is also connected to telepathy. So I'm showing you how all the systems work together.
So it's the higher, those are the higher levels of cancer, but a lot of them are trapped in the negative feelings of it. They feel something, they feel like it's a bad thing. Like
Well,
they
I'm
feel
showing you
like they
how to
only
channel.
attract
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
bad stuff,
Well, what I'm doing is I'm showing you how to channel moves.
Yeah.
I'm showing you how the channels move, how energy moves, how it moves from just the energy of how the emotion, the emotive, right? And what is it emote? What is emote? Emote is to speak, right? But emit, what is emission?
Yeah.
Emission is what you put out over time.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
And so that's what you're doing.
Exactly.
You're not emoting, you're actually emitting.
Right. Because like if you look at me, they say Aquarius that we don't like to be around people. We like to be alone mostly. But actually, I like to talk to people and I'm friendly and a lot of people know me. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like you know what I mean?
Well, see,
it's a weird space.
It's not that
when it comes to these astrological signs.
Once again, most people only know about their sun sign. So here's the thing, like
my moon sign's a Scorpio. So
right, and is your ascendant Scorpio too?
I think it is, or might have been Cancer, or
well, we're gonna have to do that again because
it might have been Scorpio too. It might have both. They might both been Scorpio.
I think it is. I think it is based off of what I remember, and that's been so long ago that
right.
Chart and we did all of that. But
right.
This is the things I have to tell everybody is this like that. So everybody has a house in the pie. There's 12 pieces of pie. Okay. In the house, in my father's house are many mansions.
Right.
Those are the 12 mansions in your father's house. Okay.
Right.
Those are also the 12 disciples of Jesus.
Yes.
Okay. And Mary Magdalene is actually the whole wheel. See, that's what people don't understand. So Masonic, okay, let me get you because I got to get y'all to understand this.
Right.
Masonic The grand temple or the house, the lodge is the temple. The lodge is astrology, y'all. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And the G is the geometry, which is the 490 degrees that become 360 degrees of knowledge of yourself, of your circumference.
Yes,
Okay.
talk to
Of
him.
your latitude, longitude, GPS.
Mm-hmm.
That is your compass and square off. You get it?
Right.
I'm trying to make this shit real simple.
Right.
Right? Because I see people struggle with this shit all the time. And so,
Mm-hmm.
I've been studying it long enough, in depth enough to try to create cheat codes. I've been trying to create cheat codes to where it's like, for me, like playing a video game.
Yeah.
I done been in the underworld. I came
Right.
out the underworld, and I done been in the outer space. I
Right.
done been to hyperspace, and I'm back.
Now you creating the wormholes.
Yeah, exactly. I'm creating a wormhole in the Mario Brother game.
Right.
Come follow me through the tunnel, through the,
Exactly.
it looked like it's gonna be sewage, but it's not. I trust you.
Right. 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 Right.
Look, because the best players, the BES, the best players, we don't get dirty.
Yeah. That's right. That's right.
Yep. We don't get dirty.
That's right, man. That's
Wait
right,
for the
man.
cosmic turn to come around and get you.
That's right.
The
That's
big
right,
fish,
man.
the big fish don't worry about the little piranha. We bite much
Mm-hmm.
bigger problems.
Exactly. And that's what we're gonna keep on doing, man. And on that note, man, I'm gonna get up out of here. I want to thank you.
I was gonna give you something though. Because see here, just give me 5 quick seconds.
Go ahead. I got you. No problem.
So like I keep saying, like, your astrological chart is your individual thumbprint. And some people, they tell you, don't let nobody know what time you was born and nah. Listen, that's bullshit. Okay. All right. Everybody got a little light under the sun. And the more we start comprehending and understanding these things right here,
right,
the less beef folks will have. The more people will understand, like, the reasons you might have opposition with an individual sometimes based off, and I've seen it happen, based off of somebody's chart, is because that's actually your higher self is trying to actually create that internal pressure system, like we do when a storm coming to clear out something, so that some fresh growth can happen. And so sometimes these so-called antagonistic relationships we think we have with individuals, storms or arguments or whatever it might seem like, they're not actually karmic. Sometimes it's created to make you grow the fuck up because you're real childish,
Yeah.
And so, that's what I come to try to teach people to utilize the astrology for, so that we can go back to building pyramids. Because, I don't know, it could be one of them things where, maybe if we don't build God's temple, maybe if we don't come together and build this house the way that we're supposed to, if we don't assemble the masses and don't bring the multitudes together like it's supposed to, so we all speak one new language, because people love to talk about the Bible, but they forget in Revelation that said that there will be a new language, there'll be a new body, there will be no pain, no suffering, so on and so forth. And that don't necessarily mean that you got to die to go to heaven. So,
that's right.
That note, bro, I digress. But hit me up. You can find me on Instagram at world_Smith. And I'm on Instagram as Jawan Eagle Bear Gibbs L.
Yes, you'll see them all at the bottom of the screen, man. Yeah, and I just want to thank you again, man, for tapping in. It's always a pleasure and it's always impactful, man. I like to just let you go, man, and you know what I mean, and get into every level of the discussions that we like to get into. I didn't want to. We could have easily gave them a 4-hour joint, man, but I like to chop it up a little bit more to give them more time to watch, and you know what I mean, and let them be able to focus in on a few things to absorb, But I just want to thank you again, man, and peace to the God, Tamu L, man, Tahuti Ray, one of my enlighteners, man, who got me on this level to even come on and even have the courage to even do what I'm doing, man. through him is is a reason why I'm even here, man. And also through you, the subscribers and the people that's watching and tapping in and sharing, man. And let's keep spreading the wisdom, man, so we can do exactly what he said, and bring it together and bring the people together, man, so we can take over like we need to, man. And this is Born Bill Universal, transmitter supreme science on Earth and the universe, and this is I God TV. Peace.